Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to talk about some images that I've been working on, mainly ones in my phone, just sketches. I'm lacking some motivation at the moment, so I thought I'd go through them just to kind of give an example of how many things I don't actually finish. One of these images in here I am going to plan to finish soon, actually off the back of this video, so something to potentially look forward to, assuming it turns out half decent, but we'll see. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so some of these are just sketches and ideas really. I went through a phase of creating what I thought like logos, I suppose you could say, or things that I thought might look good on a t-shirt, and I kept them really basic. The idea was there'd be images I could turn into vector images, so you can see here I did like, it was supposed to be a howling wolf. Yeah, it didn't really turn out how I expected, but I still got it there. You can see I just scribble notes all over my drawings because I kind of have things in my mind as I'm doing other things, so you will find just some random scribble all over the place. I just seem to have a bit of a chaotic mind, so yeah, just bear with me on that one. Okay, let's move on to the next one because there's not really much going on with that one. Right, this one, again you can see I've scribbled some notes on there. Finish this, finish that, you know, never get anything finished. This one is, I went to the zoo and I was taking pictures of animals and I got a picture of an orangutan. So this was me just basically like doing a rough outline in view of obviously finishing the picture. Obviously I didn't finish it, but it might be one I do in the future that I just polish off. I feel like I'm getting better at drawing hair actually, so yeah, maybe I will finish that off at some point. It'd be a good challenge to kind of draw hair in the context of on an animal. So yeah, that's that one. This one isn't even worth talking about. It was a really rough, I think I was just drafting down an idea for like another t-shirt design to do with dice and D&D and stuff like that, trying to appeal to a certain audience, I guess. Yeah, this is an interesting one. This was me, it was quite a few months back now. I decided I was going to try and digitally paint an eye. In my mind it was going to turn out great, but yeah, I don't think it turned out that great. Funnily enough, I've actually done another eye since. I didn't do it on my phone, it's on the desktop and it looks miles better, but I did follow a tutorial with that, to be fair. With this I was just doing what I could off the top of my head without any real training. So I've mentioned before I'm going to do a painting course, so it'll be interesting to see. Maybe I could go back to that at a later date and improve. Well, I could definitely, there's definitely room for improvement. You can see there on the eye it just looks so flat, and there's even reflections in the reference image that I didn't put in there, and the details just off. The size of the eyes, yeah, it's not, I don't think I got the shape right either. The hair on the eyebrow, I just added the eyebrow. I could definitely do that better now, but yeah, definitely one to go back to. This is a funny one. I did this, was it last year? I'm definitely better now. Some of my drawings, I just like try different things. So I remember this scene from the Jurassic Park film. I think it was the second Jurassic Park where the T-Rex gets loose in the city and it's in the little boy's back garden. He runs into his parents' room. He's like, "There's a T-Rex in the back garden." They're like, "Go to bed, Timmy." And then I think if I remember right, I don't know if it's, if I don't, it might be the Mandela effect, but I seem to remember them looking outside and it's at the dog, something brutal like that. But yeah, you can see here again my painting skills were lacking. What I actually did, if you notice on the T-Rex's skin, I actually used like, I think I had like a screenshot of like a leather surface, and I kind of just put it on transparent and stuck it over my painting. And yeah, I think it looks quite good in places, but in other places it looks it's a bit weird mixing that with the painting. But you can see, I mean, look, if you look at the range of the colour, I'm nowhere near the actual, you know, the actual reference image. So again, definitely a lot of work to be done there. This is an older picture though, in my defence. On to the next one. Okay, yeah, this one I've had to censor a bit because obviously I don't want the video to get blocked. There's a little bit of rude bits in here, but yeah, I decided to draw a mermaid. I had a reference image where she wasn't a mermaid, she had legs. I don't know if you can see there on the image, but there's some very faintly penciled in legs, and I just decided to turn them into like a fin. I tried experimenting a little bit with different colours on the line work. It possibly is one I could go back to. Not sure how I feel about it at the moment, if I'm being honest. What I would enjoy doing though is, you know, when I have done this painting course, I could go back to these and I feel like I could really do something special with them. I think that's one of the good things about drawing and art is you can improve over time and you can still go back and rework some of your stuff. Well, if it's digital, it's very easy to do that. If you're working in obviously like real with physical media, yeah, maybe not as easy. Yeah, this one, I was flicking through Instagram and I saw a baby goat and I was like, I'm going to draw it. It looks like I really messed up the feet there, the shape with the bend of the leg, but it genuinely was like that on the reference image. Again, painting skills lacking on the fur. Definitely some work to be done. I think a lot of it is around, because when I did some hair recently and I felt like improving it a lot, it was basically just around me using the right brushes and experimenting with the brushes more. So I think I need to do some more of that, and obviously the course will help me, fingers crossed. This one was just like a concept for, I was painting a guitar, which surprise surprise I haven't finished, but I was thinking of like designs I could put on there in advance. So I'd do like the body white and then I'd just do all these like designs thrown on there. I think I've got Kermit the Frog on there, like just like coming out of like he's undone a zip and he's just poking his head out. I think I've got the Sega logo. I'm not sure what that is in the top. Oh, it was a rose in the top right, and a lot of the other stuff was just like, I think there's a snake on there, registration plate, some flowers, some kind of Mexican like lucha libre skull looking thing, some comic style writing, smiley face. Oh, in the bottom left, that's supposed to be the little. I got my. Yeah, I'm surprised I made that mistake actually. Yeah, when you draw a cube, like you never really. If you see the face flown like that and it's a perfect square, you wouldn't see the side and the top of the cube like that. That's one of the first things I learned in graphics design. So I'm surprised I made that mistake. But a lot of people don't notice it. But yeah, a lot of people get away with it. But it kind of bugs me when I see stuff like that. But yeah, that was out of a video game. There was a game where it's Yakuza Judgment. You kind of go into this VR game and the little mascot is like this little dice with a face. Yeah, so I just drew that on there. But yeah, maybe I'll finish that one day, maybe I won't, who knows. Yeah, this one, sometimes I just take pictures. You can even see the blooming silhouette of me taking the picture there. I take pictures of some pencil drawings I did that I think, oh, maybe I could make something out of that digitally. So I take the picture and I can kind of use that, because I've already drawn it myself, I can then kind of use it to kind of trace, so I can kind of redraw it. Or just colour over it. It's a bit harder when you've got a shadow on there, but there's ways around it. So yeah, that's just something I was thinking of doing something with. At the moment, yeah, obviously I'm not doing anything with it, but yeah, at some point I will do something with that. This was, oh, what was this now? Oh, I think I saw like a photo online and it was talking about an Uncharted film and it had Tom Holland dressed up as like Nathan Drake, and there's a picture of him. I think he was standing on like a pirate ship or something, and I thought, oh, that'd be a cool one to draw. And I basically just got into roughly sketching out the shape, and I didn't really get any further than that, and not sure if I ever will. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, same as all the others really. I'd like to think I'll finish it someday though. Okay, this one I did have a stint of doing like footballers, and just because I found there was a lot of like good photos of them in action, like sprinting, about to kick a football. So this is Jack Grealish. I felt like didn't really, yeah, I can see now, it's strange. At the time I was really couldn't figure out why I hadn't got his face right, but now looking at it, it's like sometimes when you leave something for a while and come back to it, you can see where you're going wrong, and I feel like I got his eyebrows wrong there for sure, like the angle of them. So that's one that I probably will go back to at some point, because I feel like I could get that looking pretty decent. But again, I would like to, no pun intended, brush up on my painting skills first, and I think that could potentially be something special, because really all these, they're just templates and bases for something that could be so much more. That's the way I see it anyway. Yeah, I've even written on there, finished figure drawing. That's the course I was talking about a few videos ago. So yeah, I was still intending to do it back then, but I'll get right into it. The only thing is, actually, now that I look at it again, that arm in the background, I'm not sure if it's too high. I'll have to find the reference image. I don't know if I've drawn that right. It's bugging me now, but yeah, I'll have to look at that. You'd think as well that maybe his leg's too short, like from the calf, but actually no, it just looks like it. The socks make it look that way, but I think his legs are about right. If anything, maybe his calf's a little too long. But yeah, this was a good image as well, because you can see like he's got his leading leg, which is going towards the camera, and then his other leg's kind of coming away. And I think drawing poses like that is good practice for you to kind of, I mean, I've said I need to work on my figure drawing when it's coming from my imagination, and that's completely true, but using these reference images and stuff, it really does help me kind of understand like how things look when they're in the foreground and the background. So, you know, it's still all practice, you know, whatever way you do it. I guess just some ways of practicing are more efficient than others. Yeah, this was like, I think it was like an Instagram model, and I drew her, but I tried to draw in a more of like a cartoony, simplistic style. Like I just draw the main lines of the outline of a body and a face, and then try and block in the colour. And yeah, I think it was okay. You can see that I had this phase of like mixing my pictures with real photographic backgrounds. In the picture she was never on a balcony, but I thought, oh, I'll put the light standing over the city skyline. And you know, now looking back at it, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't really think it blends that well. At the time I thought it was absolutely genius, but yeah, I'm having doubts now. You can see all these circles where sometimes I'll add another layer, because I don't always go back to things straight away. Sometimes I leave them for a while, so I like to kind of remind myself of all the things that I want to touch up on. So I kind of circle things around. But yeah, again, this is one that I probably would enjoy going back to at some point and doing something kind of different with. And again, you're probably seeing a theme here, but I do draw a lot of women. This was this was another Instagram model, and I actually felt like, again, I felt like it was coming out great when I did the lines and I started colouring. And the thing is with this one, she did have red hair in the image, so it was just something a bit different. Yeah, it needs a lot of work. You can see my highlighting looks like it's like she's just wearing a ton of sunblock on her face. But I could probably solve that with a bit of blending. I would definitely like to go back to this one. Again, with the background, I used like a photo and then just blurred it up. Some flowers, like some kind of stock image. Now, yeah, I don't think it was too bad in this one. I went through this phase of like realising that I used to just do drawings and then just focus on the subject and not really do a background, but then I soon figured out that yeah, I really need a background in there. It adds a lot to it. But I suppose I started getting lazy and doing this with the photos, and I feel I need to get out of that habit. Oh, this image I used as a thumbnail in one of my videos, and it got blooming taken down for, can I say the word, or will they do me for that? Like a certain type of content. And I was like, really? It's just drawing? I've searched on YouTube and I've seen lots more suggestive things, and they weren't drawings. They were like, you know, real women doing the thing on thumbnails, but they had 15 million views, so I guess that's excusable. This is one that I do want to go back to actually and do some work on, especially around the hair. The painting is sloppy. I kind of just rushed all the colour in, but I feel like the proportions were good. Yeah, I do want to go back and finish this one, but if I'm being honest, not a priority at the moment. But potentially, yeah, I think there's a lot of potential there. The good thing about this one as well is I kind of had like a colour scheme going with the steps and the background, and I feel like it added a lot of value to the image. Although I did use, you know, if I'm being honest, I did use a reference, and in the reference I believe, you know, it was like that, it was colourful. It's Alexa Bliss from WWE. I changed the hair colour, and I might have changed the colour of some other stuff. It was just basically for practice, but yeah, it needs a lot of work really. This is one of the images where, for the first time, I used to use greys and blacks to do shadows and stuff, and this is where I had a real lack of knowledge of colour, as I mentioned before. But if you notice on this one, I started using purples and blues, like, you know, cold colours, and I think I used some warm colours as well for the highlights. So, and I think it just gave the image a lot more, like a bit more of a pop. But again, nowhere near finished. Now this one is definitely one. This is the one, in fact, that I think I am going to go back and do some work on, because the way it's drawn at the moment is very simplistic, so I feel like there's a lot I can do with it, and I actually think it's quite a nice drawing. I could do a lot with the dress and the folds in the dress. I could do a lot with the colour. Her hair, I know I'm better at hair now, so I can do a good job with that. And I kind of like, I might keep it simple as well. I know I just talked about backgrounds, but this one I might keep a bit simpler. I just feel like it suits it more for some reason. There was a reference image, I think it was an actor from Emmerdale, if anyone knows what that is. But I changed the colour of her dress and her shoes. I used opposite colours, or what felt like were opposite colours on the shoes and the dress, to kind of just add a bit of like contrast. But yeah, I feel like this one could look pretty good when it's done, so I'm going to put some more work into this one, and we'll see how it turns out. It probably will be my next video, to be fair, so we'll see what happens with that. This one, it's not finished. It might look kind of finished, but you can see my experience with the hair, not great. I did the hairband as like another layer, so it kind of just looks like it's floating on top. At least it does to me anyway. Yeah, and the tattoos, I initially just coloured them all blue, and then thought I'd add in the detail later. Her right hand, or is it a left hand? No, I'd say both hands look like the hands of like a 90-year-old. I kind of drew them messy and got a bit lazy. And to my credit though, I did a bit more with the background. I did it black, and then I did some like ink splatters. I didn't just like use a photo off, you know, blooming Google image search or whatever. What I would say about when I use the photos for stuff like that, you know, I'm never gonna like sell any. I mean, I don't feel like I'm at a level where I could do that anyway, but if I was ever going to monetize anything around my artwork, I definitely wouldn't, you know, be using other people's stuff in there. This is another reason I want to do the course on learning figures myself. I want to create an image where it's like I didn't even use a reference, I just completely did it from my imagination, and I know that is 100% me. I've kind of just got a bit of a thing about that really. But yeah, this one, I mean, it wasn't too bad. I feel like I did quite well with the body and the shape of the body. I'm not sure what's going on with that hip on the right hand side now I think about it. But with like the definition, like on the abs and that, the highlights on the boobs, I think they're a pretty good job. But yeah.